Welcome, everybody. I think this one welcome more than usual. There's usually three
Yeah,
welcomes.
everyone's very welcome today.
You give an extra welcome. Anyway, hi. Welcome back to another Magic Talk with Toad. I'm Beyond the Machina, and
And I'm Toad.
that's Toad. Welcome back, Toad. Thank you for joining us.
I'm an EP Toad. So I'm
EP.
EP and I'm here. And
So
we're gonna do some deck techs.
we're going to do some deck techs tonight. We're going to keep it a little bit fast, a little bit just like to the point, and it'll go pretty easy. We have one list that is pretty simple to explain. Toad and I have been tinkering with it for a while. We're pretty excited with how it turned out. I've bought the pieces for it. I'm going to try it out in paper. And then we have another list that's a little bit like sillier, goofy, silly, fun time. Uh, it's really cool though. We played it last week on our gameplay session. The Impossibility Storm deck from last week has been deemed too janky. We will visit it later.
I have good news for everyone though. Whatever color is your favorite color in Magic, it's gonna be in one of the decks today.
What about purple mana?
That's not in Magic. Get out.
Oh, okay. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Bye!
Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. On the top left corner, there will be a random video just for you. It's just for you. And in the bottom left-hand corner, there will be the other playlist with all the other Magic Talk with Toads. Anyway, good night, everybody.
I'm so sad. The video's over already.
Do they
It
think they
feels
left?
like it had just begun. Yeah,
Anyway,
it's just us now. Everybody's gone.
anyway. So
Just
anyway,
us and one loyal viewer. You know who you are.
hey, you're who keep the channel alive. We love you for that. Know this. You are valued. You are treasured. You are worth more than $30. And that's what we're going to go over tonight. Our two $30 decks. Now,
That's $60 worth of deck.
you're worth more than $60, dear single viewer.
Uh,
Maybe not to
all
Toad.
right. So which deck are we deciding to start with?
Let's start with Unlimited Power, just because it's a little bit easier to explain. And it's
Send me the current list you have for that.
I will do that. Also, I will share my screen with you quickly.
Ooh, sharing.
Yeah, sharing is caring.
Communism. Yep, those are some Magic cards on the screen now. I see what the viewers are seeing, and I like it.
Then list is here.
Yep. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So you may be able to guess by looking at the cards that you can already see. This is an energy deck.
It is?
It is a blue-red energy deck. And we're not running Amped Raptor because I don't like good cards.
It doesn't do enough for us.
We have a lot of 3-drops in this deck. We also have a lot of 8-drops.
Yeah.
And we would be sad if we just exiled those forever.
Yep.
So, for those who are not familiar with energy, energy is like poison counters, except you give it to yourself. And it's good to have because you can spend it on things.
And if you have 10 or more, you don't win the game.
I mean, you probably do.
Oh, you do?
In this deck, you probably do.
Yeah, I probably do.
So we've got Whirler Virtuoso, which is a 3-mana 2/3, and when it comes into play, you get 3 energy counters, and you can spend 3 energy counters to get a 1/1 Flying Thopter. So this guy gives you some energy, and he also spends some energy, which is what you would like to be doing. You want things that generate energy and use energy.
Now,
And we can make some little Thopters, and those will protect our creatures from edicts. and we can make several of them if we save up enough energy. And once you have 3 or 4 powers of flying, the opponent has to respect it.
Yeah, and like Whirler is better for gaining energy than it is for spending energy because we have better ways to spend our energy. But like, if you need a good blocker and you're trying to just get like flyers on board or get the initiative, it's a little bit slow, but it works.
Yeah, he's good for initiative. He's really good for just gumming up the board. If the opponent has like a 4/4, then you're just gonna block it forever.
But gaining 3 energy is a lot for this deck. Like
It is like a dark ritual for energy.
it's nuts. And as we'll see in a few other cards, playing that gaining 3 energy opens up a lot of different possibilities that like you just didn't think about beforehand.
We have good payoffs for our energy, so we just need to make a bunch of it.
Yeah. Next up we have.
So,
Oh, you go.
yeah, we have our Royal Cartographers, which is a 1/3 for 2 mana. And whenever you play a land, or you just get an energy. So this will give you a couple energy for free. It's also one of the better energy spenders in the deck, where we can tap it and pay 6 energy and just draw 3 cards.
Yeah. And it's good at gumming up the board too. It's a good blocker. I've used it to block a few times.
We've got a lot of creatures with 3 toughness, so they die to lightning bolt, but they can block a lot of stuff like Goblin Guide and random token creatures and 3-bit inspectors. Stuff that you're not going to worry about in the late game, but which can chip some damage in early, and these guys will just kind of shut that down.
We're gonna skip Salvation Colossus for now. We'll come back to that one.
Yeah.
Then we have 2 Blaster Hulk. Blaster Hulk I really like. This is one of the cards where, when rebuilding the deck and tinkering with it, we discovered it, and it's really cool. So this is one of those ones where it's cost 1 less for each energy you've paid or lost this turn. So,
And it's very easy to make that be 6 less, so you can just cast it for 2 mana.
and it is an 8/8 with haste. That whenever it attacks, you get double energy, so you get 2 regardless. Then you may pay 8, and when you do, Blaster Hulk deals 8 damage divided as you choose among up to 8 targets. So if you have 8 energy, you can dome your opponent for 8 or knock out their board.
Yeah.
And
usually you're paying about 5 mana for this guy, because you want to have energy left over when he comes down. But that's still totally fine. A 5 mana 8/8 haste creature that clears out the opponent's blockers is still really good.
And he also has a backup function, which we'll mention once we get to the sorceries.
Yeah.
And then we have 4 Synth Eradicator. I love this guy. This guy is great. It's a
Yep.
3/3 for 3 with haste. That's pretty good. That's pretty good rate. And when it attacks, you exile the top card of your library. You get 2 energy. If you don't, you may play that card this turn. So you exile the top card. If you choose to cast it, you don't get 2 energy. If you choose not to cast it, you got 2 energy, and then you can tap it to pay 3 energy and bolt something.
Yep, this is also an artifact creature, which matters for a lot of the other stuff that the deck is doing. But really, this guy is just... he throws lightning bolts around. It's not hard to make 3 energy, and he can clear out a lot of like stacks creatures or small attackers. And if you don't have anything you need to bolt, or if you're out of energy, then he just generates either your choice of energy or card advantage. So he's one of the glue pieces that kind of holds the whole deck together. He kind of does everything that you want in the deck. He's a threat, he's card advantage, he's an energy generator, he spends energy, he's removal, he just does everything. He also dies a lot, which is kind of the price you pay when you have a creature that does everything.
But like, it's good value. What do you expect?
Yep.
Then we have in our sorceries. Do you want to go over that last? Or do you want to go over it
No,
now?
we can just do it. We've got a tinker.
This is a Tinker deck. Well,
So
it's a deck with Tinker in it.
yeah, this deck is not really reliant on Tinker. It's only got a couple of slots. Like the Blaster Hogs are totally fine to just cast. So really the only slot we've dedicated to Tinker targets is the Salvation Colossus.
And the Aether Refinery, but
You can cast that. 6 mana is reasonable.
yeah. But like Blaster Hulk, you tinker out if you're going really fast. Aether Refinery, you tinker out if you're going like kind of more mid range. Salvation Colossus, you tinker out if you're going slow or you're going for like the grind fest.
Yeah. The Unearth is just a threat that the opponent has to be aware of the entire game. So, like, you tinker this out and they play something to kill it that's not a Swords to Plowshares. So, like, they play a Momentum Breaker out of their Luris deck, or they shatter the sky and clean up the Colossus and a Whirler Virtuoso. And then for the rest of the game, whenever you want, you can spend 8 energy and then just get, like, a huge swing of power into play.
And also, whenever you attack other creatures you control, get +2/2 and gain indestructible until end of turn.
Yeah, if you just have a small board and then you unearth this, you're just chunking the opponent for like 16 damage.
Yeah. If you are unearthing this, you are probably going to win.
Yep. And it's totally fine on turn 3 or 4 off a Tinker, just Flying Vigilance Trample 9/9.
It's also not impossible to cast it on its own. It's not likely, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, I'm going to say that we probably don't get there very much, but we do theoretically have white mana in the deck. So it's not like it's a completely dead draw. We would rather not draw it, but if we do, hey, the opponent has to respect it going long, just like they have to respect the Unearth. It'll probably get discarded before it ever gets cast, but if they make you discard it, you unearth it.
Yeah. In the instance, we have Galvanic Discharge, which is our bolt, more or less. Besides our
Well,
actual
Bolt
bolt.
is our Bolt.
Bolt is our
Galvanic Discharge is our Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah. That works. You choose target creature or planeswalker, you get 3 energy. You can pay any amount of energy. Galvanic Discharge deals that much damage to that permanent.
Yeah. You can target your own creature and just get 3 energy. You can target a 1 toughness creature and kill it and bank 2 energy. You can target a 6/6 and spend some extra energy and kill it. It's very versatile. This card sees play in a lot of other formats, mostly modern, but it's great here.
Next up, we have Tune the Narrative.
So
this card's
draw a
kinda
card, 2 energy. Just very, very simple. It gives you 2 of the 3 resources you care about. So it doesn't give you any mana, but it gives you a card and it gives you energy.
What's that one card that got banned the hell out of Standard years ago? The green card that gives 2 energy and lets you scry or whatever.
No, it gives you a land.
I'll give you a land.
Attune with Aether, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not running that because we're not green, but you know, sometimes it'd be nice to be green.
It's not easy being green, I've been told.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's propaganda. Being green is the best.
Anyway, we have Lose Focus. That's your counterspell. It's great. We love it.
Yep.
Value Vintage Staple.
Very efficient, very flexible counterspell. Another reason we're not running Amped Raptor is because we do want to have some situational instants and sorceries in the deck. So I know it seems like a mistake to play an energy deck without Amped Raptor, but you really don't want it here.
Yeah. And then Lightning Bolt. Everybody loves Lightning Bolt.
Good old Lightning Bolt. 3 damage, 1 mana, instant speed, hits anything. Just a good card.
So then we go to the artifacts, and this is where it gets into where I was mentioning where it matters spending and losing energy. This card I love playing. We only have 2 of them right now, but we might think about more later. Is it Generatorium? It's a red and a blue for an artifact that says if you will get one or more energy, you get that many energy plus one. And then you can tap it, draw a card, activate only if you've paid or lost 4 more energy this turn. If you play this, and you have it on board, and you play Boiler Virtuoso, you have gained 4 energy, you can now draw a card. If you play Galvanic Discharge, you get 4 energy, and you may spend it and draw a card. To the narrative, you only get 3 energy, but that's 3 energy, and it's not hard to get one more.
Yeah, Royal Cartographer is very good at giving you that last point of energy. And it even doubles up with the Generatorium.
Yeah. And in the lands, we have 2 cards that just fill the energy up super fast.
Yeah.
But we'll get over those in a minute. Then we have Aether Refinery as our second Tinker target, though we can hard cast it. If you get 1 or more energy, you get twice that many energy instead. So it just is a Generatorium thing, only on crack. It's nuts. And then you can tap...
It's going to give you basically unlimited energy, which is why the deck is called Unlimited Power now.
Yeah. And then you may tap it to get a single energy, which gives you 2 energy. Then you may pay 1 or more energy. If you do create an XX black Aetherborn creature token or X amount of energy, pay this way. That doesn't matter a whole ton. It is relevant.
It is a win condition. Like, you can make like 5/5s pretty consistently at instant speed with this deck if you've got a generator or a refinery in play. So 5/5s every turn do take over the game. You can see a similar thing with cards like Tarmogoyf Nest and other archetypes, where it's not like the best thing, but if it's in play, this deck has a lot of Tinker targets that the opponent just kind of has to respect or they die, which is what you want out of your Tinker targets.
Then we have 2 Unstable Amulets. I love these little goobers. They can sometimes backfire, but what's cool about these is I'll read off the card and then I'll explain the card, because reading does not explain it necessarily. Unstable Amulet is 1 in a red for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, Unstable Amulet deals 1 damage to each opponent. Pretty easy. Pay 2 energy. Exile the top card of your library. You may play it until you exile another card with Unstable Amulet. That kind of makes sense, but that doesn't count for each Unstable Amulet because it's a separate thing. So you can just pocket a card with Unstable Amulet and save it for whenever. If it's an instant, play as an instant speed. If it's a sorcery, play as a sorcery. And, like, as long as you don't exile another card with that single amulet that got the card that you're pocketing, you can do whatever you want with it. If you don't like it, throw it away. It's kind of nice.
It's just more card advantage, kind of like in the same boat as Royal Cartographer, where it's giving you card advantage and it's giving you a source of energy.
And also, that's 2 energy. If you have 2 of those and you spend it, that's enough for the Generatorium. And you just draw a card.
Yeah. This deck, when the engine is running, you're just incidentally going up like 2 or 3 cards a turn. And you're usually doing it without having to invest mana, which means you get to play those cards that you draw every turn.
Yeah. And then we have 3 Poetic Ingenuity.
Well, we've got a Sol Ring, because this is definitely a Sol Ring deck. We've got 8 drops.
Yeah, we have a Sol Ring. We have Poetic Ingenuity, which is a card that seems a little out of place, because we're not running...
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it belongs here, because it's not an energy card, but the deck has a lot of artifacts. There's more in the sideboard also, and it just kind of works. Like, I wasn't expecting it. I thought I'd throw it in for fun and try it out, and it just makes several 3/1 dinosaurs and several treasures every game.
Even if you just get like 1 3/1 and attack with it, that's pretty good value.
If you get 1 dinosaur and it makes 2 treasures, like, that's not great for 3 mana, but it's also not terrible. The only time this is really bad is when you have 0 artifacts to trigger it, and those are the games where you're probably losing anyway.
And the other funny thing about this card that I have seen in our texting games is it is bait. Sure, you don't want to be giving a card just to lose it, but this card looks really scary to anybody who knows threat assessment and like kind of knows how it could work. Our deck doesn't rely on it. It's helpful. We like it. We run it. But uh, a lot of the times, they'll choose to remove Poetic Ingenuity over Unstable Amulet. Or they'll choose to remove Poetic Ingenuity over Instant Generatorium or Synth Eradicator.
Yeah.
Which, sure, you want to keep the Generatorium or the Synth Eradicator or the Unstable Amulet more than the Ingenuity. So, like, it sucks, like, kind of going down one. It's bait. Who cares?
And if you're looking at the artifact count, it says 8 right there. But the Synth Eradicators and the Blaster Hulks are also artifacts that are perfectly castable. So we're more working with like 14. So you're going to have the first artifact pretty frequently. And that gets you to the baseline for where I'd be comfortable spending 3 mana. And then if you get the second artifact, it's just a great rate.
Yeah, it works. It just works. Thanks, Todd Howard. Anyway, lands, we have a pretty good budget this deck. This deck is dirt cheap. Like, we have put money into it, but like...
Yeah, we have just filled up the mana base with some lands that are usually way too expensive.
We have an island, a mountain, 4 Aether Hub. This card is nuts. We love it. This is also what helps us maybe cast Salvation Colossus. We don't, but we could.
Yeah.
But
we're not. We're never casting Salvation Colossus. Just put it out of your mind. It's not happening. And if it does, it didn't.
But this, at the beginning of the game, great card. At the middle or late in the game, once we have our little engine going, this card is absurd.
Yeah, if we have Royal Cartographer or Generatorium or Refinery, then this is actually giving us 2 or more energy when it comes into play. So that's great. If you don't need it for colored mana and you can use that energy for something else, then you're feeling really good with it. And if you have to spend it for colored mana, it's better than not having colored mana.
Yeah. Next up we have Helios 1, which is kind of a cracked card. I don't use it as much as I should. But it's a colorless land, top 1 for a colorless. Pay a 1, tap it, you get an energy, which is really good, especially just generating energy. You have spare mana lying around, you know, stuff to play. Put it into Helios, you get an energy. But then its other mode, which is really cool, is you pay 3, tap it, pay X energy, sacrifice Helio 1, destroy target non-land permanent with mana value X, activate only as a sorcery. I should use this more than I do, and every time I've done it, it has either won me the game, or has nearly won me the game. No questions asked.
And because of the repetitive energy generation like this deck in a longer game, like going to turn 6 or 7, can get up to like 15 and 20 energy, which is really good when you play a Blaster Hulk and you can immediately use the 8-shot.
Yeah. Then we have 3 Chivalry at it's 30 cents. 3 Fiery Out. We need the extra draws because it's kind of a faster deck. Or it can be a faster deck. I don't like a Fiery Out as much. I think it's a little bit dangerous, but it works. And then we have 4 Stormcarved Coast because we had money and we put it in.
Yeah, this deck really, really wants to hit its 3-drop. 3 is where you start doing the really good stuff. Like, you can disrupt on 1 and 2. You can play one of your engine pieces on 2, but turn 3 is where the heavy hitters like Synth Eradicator and Poetic Ingenuity come down that set you up to really take over in the mid-game.
And once you're going, you're gone. It's nuts. I love it.
Yeah, if the opponent lets you get out ahead of them, it's very difficult for most decks to catch up because a sweeper like Supreme Verdict won't necessarily do it because you've got artifacts, enchantments, creatures, and lands that are all developing your game plan.
Yeah. In the sideboard, we have Reiterating Bolt. We almost cut it, but the replicate cost is what kind of kept me on board. It's 1 and a red to deal 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. That's not irrelevant. That has come up. That has helpful, especially when you're playing more like ones where you need the removal. The replicate, with how much energy we accrue, sometimes you just need to shoot down that second or third target.
Yeah, I'm not a huge believer in reiterating bolt, but Drew likes it, and it's mostly his deck, so it's in the list for now.
We have 3 Soul Guide Lantern for graveyard decks. That's good.
Yep. In matchups where the opponent struggles to get Poetic Ingenuity off the board, you can always bring in the lanterns as extra artifacts that just cantrip. And that'll give you a dinosaur for 1 mana and a card for another mana. So if the opponent has a bunch of creature removal, like they're overloaded on Swords to Plowshares, Supreme Verdict, Power Word Kill, but they don't have a ton of answers to enchantments and artifacts, you can just lean more heavily on the Poetic Ingenuities and kind of do the energy thing a little bit slower and lean more on the Generatoriums and the Helios ones to build up energy for the end game.
Yeah. A null is just good. Counter target artifact or enchantment.
Yeah, these might be unnecessary. There's a lot of enchantment and artifact based combo decks, but I'm starting to see them show up less often in tournament results from around the world. So we may not need 3 of these. We may not need any of these. But when we built the deck, people were really worried about like Channel Mirror and Oath of Druids. And so these are a nod to that. They could just be spell pierces.
They're good in our meta because our meta has a lot of the artifacts and enchantment spells that can get really out of hand. But like our meta is kind of like lopsided, so this is a meta call. Swap it out for spell pierce if you're more comfortable with it. Who cares? It's not that bad. It's the sideboard. We have almost $3 of budget left. If there's some other fancy thing you want to put in, you can put it in. Dragon's Claw, I've not seen come up at all, but Toad swears by it.
Every tournament I go to, I play against a mono red deck. And it's not always the same mono red deck. It's very different mono red decks, or at the very least, like 75% red decks, and they're all aggressive. So like there's Burn, there's the Mouse Prowess deck, there is it Phoenix, which is more blue, so you might not want these. There's Koldatha red decks that I've run into. There's like boom bust decks where the only white cards they're running are like Swords to Plowshares, or the only black cards they're running are Power Word Kill. And if your opponent is trying to pressure your life total, which not all red decks are, and they're mostly red, which I think a lot of red decks are, this is going to gain you a bunch of life because it also triggers on your red spells, and your deck is mostly red.
Yeah. Anger the Gods we have in because we don't have any sweepers. And this can kind of hurt us a lot because our main creatures are 3 and under. But, like, when you're playing it is when you need it.
If you are ahead on the board, you don't need to play a sweeper.
Yeah.
Just kind of how that works for mid-range decks. You have creatures, they have creatures, they kill your creatures, you kill all their creatures. Just the back and forth.
Yeah. And we can make more creatures. It's not that hard.
Yep, we absolutely can. We can draw into more creatures, we can tinker for a big creature that survives Anger of the Gods.
Yeah. And then we have 2 Red Elemental Blast.
Yeah, it is wild that this deck can play Red Blast. I actually had a playset of them before we added the storm carved coast, and it just people do not expect red elemental blast in this format.
Yeah. We probably could cut and annul or the bolts and put in the remaining red elemental blast. But like we kinda like the balance as it is now. But like that's just the thing to think about if you build this list for yourself, which I suggest. It's a fun list. And
it is a wacky, wild list.
Like all value vintage lists. We haven't gone over value vintages. Alright. Well, by this point you know what it is.
We have a whole video if they want to know what value vintages do. We sat down for like an hour and a half and laid it all out for everybody.
It was only an hour and 3 seconds.
Okay. That's basically an hour and a half if you round up by half. So yeah, if you want to know what value vintage is, we've got a whole video for it. It'll be somewhere in the links probably. Check it out. It's a $30 format that you get to do absurd things in.
I will see if I can make it pop up on the screen around here because I can do that.
Do the channel magic for the people at home.
Anyway, and it's $30. Play it. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's cheaper than a pauper deck.
Pretty much, yeah.
The average mana value of the deck is 1.67 and 2.5 without lands, which is really good.
It could be lower. Could always be lower.
We'll do some test hands, see how they look, and then we'll shift on to our next list, which will take a little bit of time to explain because it's kind of janky. This
has frogs.
This hand has no lands. This is bad.
Yep.
This is great. I love this.
Yeah, this is pretty strong.
Turn 1 Aether Hub, get an energy.
Turn 1 Storm Carved Coast.
Oh, okay. Do you want to play test this one or just?
Yeah, run it. We can try it out.
So turn 1.
So we're gonna play tap Storm Carved Coast.
Tap Storm Carved Coast. Next turn. Helios or Aether Hub?
Now we're gonna play Aether Hub.
Now we're going to Aether Hub. Gain energy.
And then we're gonna play the Amulet.
3 energy.
We're gonna activate the Amulet.
We're activate the Amulet. Okay.
Why wouldn't we?
I don't know.
The card lasts forever.
Werther Virtuoso. We can play that next turn.
We can.
We lose 2 energy. And that's just in the pocket. Next turn.
It's free real estate.
Helios 1.
Yep.
And play the Werther.
We have to use our energy. But then we get 3 energy.
Whoop-de-doo. We use 1 energy, and then we get 3 energy. We're at 3 energy again.
Hooray.
Do we want to hold on to this energy, or do we want to pocket the Amulet?
We can hold on to it. Because now we have another sink that we might need to use.
Next turn. Royal Cartographer into Helios 1.
Yeah, let's tap the Helios and the Storm Carved Coast and play them.
Royal... I think it's a her. Anyway.
I don't know.
We play Helios 1 and get an energy.
We sure do.
That's 4 energy. Let's go.
The energy starts coming, and it don't stop coming. We can tap Aether Hub and tune the narrative.
Tune the narrative. We lose an energy, but gain 2 energy. So we just gain 1 energy.
Yep. And then we draw a card.
Pretty good. Not great, but pretty good.
And then we can activate the Amulet.
Activate the Amulet. 1, 2, 3.
No, just 1.
Just 1.
Just 2. 2 energy.
Just 2 energy. It's the boy.
It's the guy. He's coming. Oh Lord, he's coming.
Mr. Puxel.
Oh, actually, we're gonna play the Poetic Ingenuity first.
Yeah.
Why did you tap the Aether Hub?
There you
Right, so now when we cast the Synth Eradicator, we will get to make a dinosaur.
Amazing.
And we could also have been attacking with these little dinguses if we needed to.
Do we want to assume they have a creature we want to blow up and use the galvanic
Yeah, we
discharge?
can probably blow it up. Assume it's like a 2 toughness creature. So we're going to break even on energy.
We gain 1 energy.
And we had to spend 1 to cast it.
Pretty good deal. Next turn. Oh, it's a land!
Yep. Get an energy.
We're already at 5 energy, and we've been spending it pretty generously.
Right, now we're going to tap our Coast and our 2 Helios for Synth Eradicator, which deals a damage to the opponent. And then we're going to activate Amulet again. We also get a dinosaur.
How do we get the dinosaur token? Add token. Dinosaur. And we exile a land.
Yeah, so that's free real estate. Now we can attack with the Synth Eradicator.
Attack with the Synth Eradicator.
And see what we flip.
Survey says, another land.
Well, we're not going to play that. We're going to get 2 energy.
Pure energy, pure energy. Bum. We have 5 energy.
Yeah.
Next turn. Lightning bolt, baby!
Alright, let's play our free land.
Free land, get energy. 6 energy.
Activate Amulet.
Activate Amulet. Go down 2 energy. Helios 1.
Yep, that's a land. We can save it for later.
Do we want to play Warlord or Bolt?
No, I want to attack with Synth Eradicator and see what we can get for free.
Let's attack with the dinosaur too.
Yeah, and our dinosaur, because we get our treasure.
We got 2 in the narrative.
We sure do.
And yeah, that's pretty good. We'll keep that.
We're going to play it.
Then we'll play 2 in the negative. We get 2 energy.
Yeah. We also deal 1 damage to the opponent.
And we draw a card. Holy cow! And that's another counter spell.
Now we can play Whirler Virtuoso.
It's the Whirler, Whirly Boy. And we're at 9 energy already, and this is turn 7. And we've been spending it pretty generously.
Yeah. And like we've had counters and burn in hand, so we're not just completely dead to anything.
And we have a healthy amount of goobers.
And like the deck just snowballs value.
Next turn we draw an Aether Hub. We play Helios. We gain an energy. We got 10 energy. Do we want to play Aether Refinery just because?
No, we want to keep the value train going.
Keep the value train going. All right. Spend 2 energy. Get Lightning Bolt. Play Lightning Bolt?
Yeah. We're gonna Lightning Bolt them, and they're gonna take 4.
Donk. Oh, they've already lost 2, and they've lost 4. They're at 13 just from spells and effects.
Yeah.
We assume they got hit by the dinosaur.
And the Synth Eradicator.
And so they are at 5.
Yep. So now we are going to Lightning Bolt them.
Oh, boy. We lose a life.
And then we're gonna tap Synth Eradicator and deal 3.
Kaboom. We got there. Let's go.
Yeah, it only took us 7 turns. An infinite amount of turns in Value Vintage.
But it was pretty good turns.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll do 2 more hands and then we'll switch the next deck. We're pretty good on time still. We want to do another
Let's just do one more, because they saw the deck doing some games in the gameplay last week.
Yeah, that's fair. We didn't play this game. We didn't play this deck last week.
I thought we did.
No, we played Impossibility Storm, which we decided was too
Whack.
janky.
Whack.
This has no lands, but I love seeing the Synth Eradicators.
That's correct. 3 3 3s for 3.
Woo!
Yeah, this is fine. We can put the Shivan Reef back.
Put the Shivan Reef back. Okay. Uh, well, we'll just pretend it's gone. We'll draw Loose Focus, pretty good. And we'll draw Galvanic Discharge, pretty good.
Yep.
Hey!
Yeah, we don't really have a good way to trigger that.
Yeah.
This is kind of a very clunky hand. Like, I don't like how this is turning out.
It's not terrible. Not great, but not terrible.
And it's super clunky. It's not really beating anything.
Yeah. We'll do... yeah.
This,
Pretty good.
yeah, we can put a Stormcarved Coast back.
No, this is just the new hand. This is a new 7.
Yeah. Oh, this is 7? Ooh, wow. I still want to put a Stormcarved Coast back because I don't like to have 4 lands in my hand.
We will draw Galvanic Discharge. Alright.
That's a good one to draw.
Fiery Islet.
That's a good one to draw.
Fire Islet.
Okay, the second one's not great.
Loose Focus. Okay.
That's probably good to have, but it's a little late.
No, that's a bad draw.
Yeah, it's a bad draw.
Pretty. Okay.
I wonder if this deck wants, like, Thirst for Knowledge.
Maybe. We can tinker that later.
No.
Anyway, so that's the deck. That's what we call Unlimited Power. The list will be in the YouTube description, as all our lists have been. And we would love to know what you think. If you buy this deck, we are not sponsored by anybody. We're working on it. We're pretty small, but hey, the more you watch, the more likely we'll get a sponsor. And the more likely we get a sponsor, the more likely you get a discount code.
Because we don't have a sponsor at this time, I cannot recommend that you buy cards from websites. You should only get cards for value vintage from yard sales.
And trades.
No, don't ever trade any cards. They might become expensive later, and then you would be bummed out. So just hoard every card that you get from the yard sales.
I don't trust yard sales after Toy Story 2. Anyway.
What about boot sales where you can buy some definitely authentic Magic cards out of the trunk of somebody's car?
You call them boot sales? I should call them trunk sales.
So they call them boot sales on the other side of the ocean.
Oh.
Because it's the boot.
But you put boot on your feet, Toad.
But trunk is elephant.
I love that Wiggle song. Anyway.
Let's show the people some frogs.
Let's show the people some frogs.
Do you like the Gitrog monster?
Ooh.
Because I sure do. And do you know what's even better than paying 5 mana for the Gitrog monster? Paying 2 mana for the Gitrog monster.
But Toad, how do you pay 2 mana for the Gitrog monster?
We have Oath of Druids, which is a card with many words upon it. So read it to the people.
Oath of Druids is an enchantment for green and a 1. As of each player's upkeep, that player chooses a target player who controls more creatures than they do, and is their opponent. The first player may reveal cards from the top of their library until they reveal a creature card. If the first player does, that player puts that card on the battlefield, and all other cards reveal this way into their graveyard.
So what this means is the only creature in our deck is the Gitrog monster. So if the opponent ever has a creature, we get to go get the Gitrog monster. And as an added bonus, if we mill any lands, we get to draw a card.
Per land, right?
No, not per land. There was some rules misunderstanding, and I was too excited, and it's not actually that way. We just get one, but you know what? One card is better than no cards.
Yeah.
So we've got Oath of Druids. We've got the Gitrog monster. Let's take a look at what else we've got. We've got Invasion of Ixalan, which helps us to find Oath of Druids.
This is 1 in a green for a battle siege which are just janky cards. We got 3 of them. When an invasion of Ixalan enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards in your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them and put it in your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of the library in random order.
So this finds Oath of Druids. It can also find Gitrog later in the game when we have mana to cast it. And it finds Dakmor Salvage, which is a land that we'll talk about later.
Ooh, there it is. Then we have Kaya Orzhov Usurper. I didn't see this one in our games.
I think I boarded it out against you because you're not doing the things it cares about.
Yeah.
So one of the things that this deck dislikes is Rest in Peace and Leyline of the Void. Well, Leyline still gets us, but if they have Rest in Peace, we can just build up Kaya and kill them with their own exiled cards.
Yeah, that's pretty clever.
She also is Graveyard Hate, so I like to have some Graveyard Hate in my decks, and if we can sneak it in main deck, that's a bonus. And she's a removal spell for small things. So a lot of decks have Soul Ring. She's going to hit Soul Ring. A lot of decks have 1-mana creatures, whether those be Mana Dorks or like Goblin Guide, Monastery Swiftspear, or the Flame or Mako guys from the Hollow One decks. Most of the decks that are playing creatures will have 1-mana creatures. Most of the decks that are playing artifacts will have 1-mana artifacts. She unfortunately cannot get rid of the bigger stuff like cranial plating, but she can take out ornithopters and ginger brutes. Just general. This is a format where people like to save as much mana as they can, which means they play a lot of 1-mana cards, and she's good against 1-mana cards.
Yeah.
And then if the opponent has a Rest in Peace, so for example, if the opponent has specifically Rest in Peace and Energy Field, we can build up Kaya while those are sitting in play, and then whenever we find a Witherbloom command to answer the Energy Field, we can just blow up the opponent.
Yeah, that'll do it.
This deck wanted a Planeswalker because it has some Delirium type effects. So Kaya being a Planeswalker that can help you with your biggest problem in the format, which is Rest in Peace and Soul Guide Lantern.
Yeah.
I guess Soul Guide Lantern. A lot of the graveyard stuff is one-sided, so she's not great against that. But Rest in Peace specifically is what you're worried about with this deck. Because even the Soul Guide Lantern you can play around because it's a one-shot effect. Tormod's Crypt, one-shot effect. Rest in Peace just sits there and you can't win the game if it's in play pretty much. So you want to have a way to punish Rest in Peace. And she just cleans up random stuff, gains you some life sometimes.
We'll go to the sorceries now, which I've played CDH enough to know where this is going.
So Gaia's Blessing is a cantrip for our deck. It's mill protection. It can restock our library, but most importantly, when we mill it, we shuffle our entire graveyard back into our library, and we are intending to do that infinite times.
We'll go over how we do that later.
Yep. And you have 2 of the Gaia's Blessing because if one of them ends up in your graveyard somehow, like from a duress, you can use the second one to put the first one back in the deck, and then it's ready to be milled, which will put the second one back in your deck. And so as long as you have 2, it's harder to lock you out of them.
It's kind of a nutty card.
Yeah, it's a card that I don't think they would print now, but they did print it, and it's been reprinted a bunch. It's not a like absurdly broken card. It's just a card that does one thing very effectively.
It's good value. Value vintage.
Yep, for value vintage. We've got Raven's Crime, which is a black mana, target opponent discards a card, and you can play it from your graveyard by discarding a land. It's not flashback or jumpstart. You can just do it as many times as you want to discard a land. Which, with the Gitrog monster out, every time we do that, we draw a card. which fuels more Raven's crime. So if this deck gets to the mid game against a control list, we can usually make them discard their hand, unless they have Rest in Peace.
Yeah.
We've got 3 Shatter the Sky. Those go along with the 4 Swords to Plowshares. So between those and the Kaya, we are pretty reasonable against the creature decks that are playing like 1, 2, 3 mana creatures, unless they are doing initiative stuff, in which case we have to kill them faster.
Yeah.
And also the Gitrog will let us draw a card if we have to Shatter the Sky with the Gitrog out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a relevant text. That's why we're running this one instead of any of the other cheap Wrath variants. Witherbloom Command just does kind of everything we want. It mills us, which we like. It gets us lands back from our graveyard. It destroys non-land, non-creature permanents with mana value 2 or less, which is Rest in Peace, and also a whole bunch of other things. It can drain 2 points of life against the faster decks, and it can kill a 1 toughness creature, which doesn't usually happen. Even the 1 mana creatures in this format have 2 toughness a lot of the time. But the removal for just random stuff and also trying to find a land is really good in this deck. I'd like to fit a 3rd one, but we are really tight on slots and a little bit tight on budget for this build.
Yeah. Verdant. We're into the instance now, and Verdant Command is a really goofy card. That is, I got destroyed by it, which is a weird card to say you got screwed by.
It can counter a Planeswalker ultimate ability.
Yes.
Which is not what you're running it for, but that's a pretty fun thing to be able to do with your 4 mana or your 2 mana 4 of. So the primary use for this is we're giving the opponent 2 squirrels so that they have to let us get Gitrog with Oath of Druids. And then it can either gain 3 life, exile a card from a graveyard, or counter a loyal ability of a Planeswalker. So you're just doing whichever one of those is best in the matchup, plus squirrels. And then it has the secret hidden mode of, against an aggro deck, give yourself 2 squirrels and gain 3 life, which is a really good speed bump.
Yeah.
And then we talked about Swords to Plowshares. It's just, you don't want to lose to creatures. This is the best removal spell in the format.
Now into the artifacts. Here's one of your pet cards in Commander.
This is a card that I put in like most of my Commander decks, and I realized that if you have a Gitrog out, or if you're trying to dredge cards, this is actually pretty good. And because of how the timing works on this, you can trigger Oath of Druids and put a bunch of cards in your graveyard, and then even if you hit a Gaia's Blessing, you can respond to the Gaia's Blessing trigger by transforming it, which gives you a bunch of mana on future turns. But honestly, the front half of this card is where most of the value is. The back half is the reason that we have some Planeswalkers in the main deck, because it makes it much easier. We don't have a lot of creatures as permanent types, but we do have Planeswalkers and battles and artifacts and enchantments and lands, so it's not too hard to get to 4.
Yeah.
Vexing Bauble, this is an unfair deck, but it's an unfair deck that is paying mana for all of its spells. So Vexing Bauble gives us a leg up on some of the other unfair decks, like the Cascade versions, or decks that are trying to like replay a bunch of 0 mana artifacts over and over again. And it's also good against free counter spells like Daze and Commandeer, but that comes up less often. We've got a Soul Ring. Like, this deck can absolutely just cast the Gitrog monster.
Mm-hmm.
5 mana is not a ton, especially when you are drawing and looting and ramping and digging for lands with several of your cards.
Yeah.
And then you can also Soul Ring. Like, you can go turn 1 Soul Ring, turn 2 Motzalantly plus Raven's Crime, and then just Gitrog them.
Yep. Enchantments, we have Overgrown Estate, which is a card I have not seen, I think, ever.
Yeah, I don't know if this is correct. Like, Zurin Orb is obviously better than this, but Zurin Orb has also spiked a lot because of the land sacrifice theme deck for Commander for Edge of Eternity. It used to be like a 30-cent card, and now it's almost $2.
It is $2.03.
Yeah, that's for the gold bordered one, even.
The regular version is $2.54.
Yeah, it's pretty unreasonable to run multiple copies of this card. So we're on Overgrown Estate, which gives you one more life per land, but it costs 3 mana of 3 different colors. Well, 1 mana of 3 different colors. So it is kind of clunky to play it. So I could easily be persuaded that we don't even want to be on this card at all. But I have them in right now for testing, and I don't know if they're good or bad because I just haven't drawn one when it would be relevant.
Yeah. Then we have Ayula's Influence, which
Yep.
this card seems a little bit goofy until you
This
combo off with it.
is the combo. Yep. So this card is an enchantment that lets you discard a land card to make a 2/2 bear. And when you discard a land card with Gitrog in play, you draw a card. And if you would draw a card, you can dredge Dakmor Salvage, which is a land card, which you can discard to Iola's Influence. What this means is you can make as many bears as you can mill to. And because we have Gaia's Blessing and we're milling ourselves, and we're never drawing a card with this combo because we're just getting back Dakmor Salvage, so we'll never mill or draw the Gaia's Blessing, we'll always mill it. We can make infinite bears at instant speed as long as we have Iola's Influence and Gitrog and a Dakmor Salvage in hand or in the graveyard, which we're pretty good at putting stuff in the graveyard, so there's a good chance we'll have one. If we have to play it as our land drop at some point, Gitrog will let us sacrifice it if we get an upkeep trigger,
Yeah.
which starts the loop. So we have 4 Dakmors. They're easy to find. We're usually going to have a Dakmor if we have the rest of the combo. And we're running 3 Iula's Influence because we can dig for it with the Invasion of Ixalans, but it is the hardest piece of the combo to find.
But once you have it, you have it.
Once you have it. Even without the Gitrog monster, this card can make 1 or 2 bears every turn for a while, and that is real pressure. Like, I wouldn't play it just to do that. It is a combo piece, but a combo piece that lets you discard a couple of extra lands and put 6 power in play is not awful for 3 mana.
Yeah.
It's not what you want to be doing with it, but as a fail state for a card, turning dead draws into creatures is fine.
And then Oath of Druids, which we went over earlier.
Yep. And so then we've got 2 of each basic, Plain Swamp Island. We've got the 4 Dakmor Salvage.
Plain Swamp Island?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the green island. It's the summer magic island that taps for green. It's
wow, that's really expensive.
It's what you use to cast your blue hurricanes.
Of course.
So we've got those. We've got a couple Llanowar Wastes. We've got some Scattered Groves, which are cycling lands, which the Gitrog monster really likes because you cycle it and you get to draw, and then you draw again for Gitrog.
Oh, gee, Bill, you can draw 2 cards?
Yeah. 3 Field of Ruin. Field of Ruin's another card like Overgrown Estate. I could be convinced that we just shouldn't have these. But this deck is running 23 lands plus a Soul Ring, which is a little heavy for value vintage. So I wanted several of them to do something besides just tap for mana or cycle.
Yeah.
And I ended up with Field of Ruin because, again, Cloud Post decks and Gate decks are very real parts of the metagame. And being able to Field of Ruin is good, and it's a sack trigger for Gitrog, which is okay. Ghost Quarter would probably be better, but we don't have a way to easily replay the Field of Ruin. So saving the mana up front doesn't do a whole lot for us compared to finding another mana for later.
Yeah.
And then we've got a Kishla village, which
Kishla.
yeah, it's a green mana source for Iola's influence, and it comes in untapped if we've got a swamp, which we can find with our deceptive landscape. And it just surveils. So like we want to be self-milling. This is a land that self-mills. It helps us find the cards that we're looking for, like Iola's influence or Overgrown Estate if we were trying to get that set up. And it's value. It's a solid value land, which this deck really likes to have available.
I mean, 4 Deceptive Landscape, just to get the basics. 4 Dackmore Salvage to start the combo.
Yep, just looping, big loops.
And the sideboard is where things get kind of goofy.
So we've got 4 Duress because we're kind of well set up for like the aggro and mid-range matchup. Not great for aggro. Like we can get run over, but landing Oath of Druids early really helps, and having good removal really helps. But we kind of struggle with the combo decks because our combo deck is a bit slower than most. We don't really go off until turn 3 or 4 usually, which is a turn too slow. So we can bring in Duress and just disrupt the other combo decks so that suddenly they're not going off until turn 3 or 4 and we can get in under them.
And then the backup Oath of Druids targets.
Yep. If the opponent has Rest in Peace, which I hate to keep saying it, but like it just kills the deck. If the opponent has Rest in Peace, then you have to switch out your combo. And depending on what the opponent is trying to do, we have a couple of different options. If the opponent is like an initiative deck where they are really heavy on wanting to attack and protect the initiative, and maybe a little bit later on removal, so they're not going to be able to answer a 5/6 easily, then we can bring this guy in. He flies, he takes the initiative, and they can't attack us back.
Yep. And then
I had some other like spicy sideboard options, but they were taking up way too much of the budget. We were on like $6 a budget for sideboard creatures.
oh, you have
So we
Arcade.
kind of
You have a mirror in there or something?
I had Iona in there, and
Iona.
I had 2 Angel of Suffering for the Gaia's Blessing combo, which basically gives you infinite life as long as the opponent can't kill a 5/3 flyer.
Mm-hmm.
But the Ionas are $1.70, and the Angel of Sufferings are like $2.25 each. So we were looking at $6+ for sideboard that may or may not get used.
Yeah.
So we just swapped them out for some budget ones that kind of fill the same niche, but not exactly. We've got 3 Soul Guide Lanterns, so if sometimes the opponent's on a graveyard deck too, and we want to have ways to deal with that. So Lantern comes in and just takes the graveyard out. If we have to, we can shuffle Soul Guide Lanterns back in with Gaia's Blessing if we have to nuke the graveyard multiple times, but that is pretty clunky, so I wouldn't lean on it as a strategy.
Yeah. And then we have another one of the Oath of Druids cards with Imperial Archangel, which screwed me over when we played it last week.
Yep, he had a board, and I... sorry about that. He had a board out, and I just stuck an Archangel, and then I started casting the next card on the list, and he just couldn't do anything.
Yep.
So the Archangel, if you would take damage, the Angel takes it instead. It's a 5/8 flyer, and it has Shroud, which means no targeting at all from anybody. So it's also your go-to for when the opponent has a bunch of removal. So if you're against, like, say, an Esper control deck that has Swords to Plowshares and Power Word Kill and maybe even like a 1 Vindicate or something, you can just bring in this guy. 5 power, flying, can't be targeted. It closes out games, and it's very difficult to race. Be aware that if the opponent can do 8 damage to your face, it will just kill the Angel. So we have a second one as a backup, and then once one has died, future oath triggers will probably hit a Gaia's Blessing and put it back. So we can kind of keep putting it into play. But if the opponent has set up a way to just repeatedly get through, like let's say they have a Merit Lage token from a Dark Depths, you're gonna need to figure out something to deal with that.
Yeah.
We've got Formless Genesis, which is a 3-mana Kindred Sorcery Shapeshifter. It is all creature types, which I don't think we care about in this deck, but it has Retrace, just like Raven's Crime. So when you cast it, you make an XX Changeling token, where X is the number of lands in your graveyard, which very often is going to be like 4+ if you're on turn 3 or 4 because of how much we mill ourselves. Unless we've hit a Gaia's Blessing, which occasionally happens, but you can usually dodge it. And then it just makes a 4/4, and then you discard a land and make a 5/5. And now you've got 9 power in play that the opponent has to deal with. And if they have Supreme Verdict or something, you just discard another land, make a 6/6, and just keep threatening them until they run out of removal.
Hey, this is a dinosaur, so we do get a treasure from it.
If we attack with Poetic Ingenuity, yep, that's true. And then for the combo matchups where we want to bring in something besides Gitrog for Oath, we have Archon of Valor's Reach. So this is another 5-power flyer. Vigilance Trample on this one also. And you just choose a card type, and nobody can play spells of that type. You can't choose creature. So if the opponent is on High Tide, you just say, no, sorry, no instance. If the opponent is on Channel Mirror, you just say, yeah, no artifacts. You can't cast your Lich's Mirrors. If the opponent is on Burn, you can name instance, and then probably they won't be able to get through. A lot of the time when you bring in the Archangels to just be a generally good 5-power flyer, you also bring in the Archons. But generally you want to bring these in for either instant-centric decks or artifact-centric decks.
Because, like, why do you care about your instants and artifacts?
Yeah, if the opponent can't do anything, we don't need our instants and artifacts. Like, we're going to cut ourselves off of Vexing Bauble, it doesn't really matter. Or we're going to cut ourselves off of Swords to Plowshares against High Tide, which we probably just boarded them out anyway.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, really.
So that is the deck. If you want to run through some hands, we can talk it out.
Yeah, so first one, Scattered Groves, Deceptive Landscape, Soul Ring, Invasion of Ixalan, Swords, Shatter, and Kaya.
Yeah, so this is a turn 1 Soul Ring, and then turn 2 we play Scattered Groves and Fetch a Swamp, and we have all of our colors. And from there, we can cast anything in our hand except Shatter the Sky. We've got removal for any creature, we've got removal for any 1-mana permanent, and we've got a way to dig. So this is actually a totally keepable hand.
Do we want to play it out, or do we want to just go to the next hand?
Let's play a couple turns and see if this develops into a combo by like turn 4 or not.
Alright, so turn 1, Landscape.
Yep.
Soul Ring.
And then we want to just get the Sol Ring out before Inquisition of Kozilek or Spell Pierce or whatever come online.
Next turn.
We're going to play the Scattered Grove, and we're going to fetch a Swamp.
Fetch that. View all. Look for Swamp.
And we'll be done for the turn.
Next turn. Ayula's Influence.
We're going to play the land. We're going to tap Sol Ring and float a colorless. And we're going to use the Scattered Groves to cast Invasion of Ixalan.
Cool. Damn it, it's sideways.
It's supposed to be sideways.
When it enters the battlefield, I put it sideways so I can read it easier, not thinking that the one on the side would. Look at the top 5 cards. View top 5. We get a permanent.
Yep. We're gonna grab Mazzolantli here.
Grab Mazzolantli.
And we're going to cast Mazzolantli.
Do these go on the bottom of the library or in the graveyard?
Bottom in a random order. We actually run Invasion not just because it's a battle, but because we don't want to mill ourselves a ton. Because if we hit Gaia's Blessing at the wrong time, it's bad. So we're running these instead of Malevolent Rumble.
Do you want to use the colorless floating of the remaining two?
We want to cast the Mazzolantli.
Mazzolantli, we'll put that up there. And draw and discard?
We're going to pass the turn because we can't cast anything this turn. So at the end of our opponent's turn, we would draw and discard.
What do we discard?
I think we're going to discard Shatter the Sky.
Okay. And then we draw for turn, which is Raven's Crime.
Yep. So I think at this point we're going to draw and discard.
It's draw and discard. Discard and draw. That's nice.
Yep. And we will discard the landscape. And we will play a forest.
Play the forest.
And we will tap the white and black and the forest. And cast Kaya.
Cast Kaya.
And then presumably we will be able to blow something up with Kaya. Because if not, then I don't know what the opponent is doing that hasn't already killed us.
Yeah.
And then we're going to sack the landscape, and we're going to go get our other forest.
View all. No, wrong button. View all. Forest. There it is. It's tapped.
Yep. And so now we have Ayola's Influence next turn.
Which drew Invasion
which we're not going to cast Ayola's Influence. We're going to tap Forest and Soul Ring. Let's Mazzolantli first. Because that's free. So before we start doing anything, we can draw for free.
We draw Verdant Command.
Let's discard Raven's Crime.
Discard Raven's Crime.
And then let's tap Forest for Invasion of Ixalan.
Invasion of Ixalan again. Look top 5. Oath of Druids. There we go.
Right. Yeah, let's grab Oath and cast Oath.
Close and shuffle. Whatever, they go to the bottom. Oath of Druids.
Alright. And so then we're going to use Kaya again to do whatever.
Do whatever, yeah.
And
Next.
now we go to the next turn, and before we draw that Iola's Influence, we're going to do Oath of Druids.
Cool. So we reveal top cards from library until we hit a creature.
Yep.
Iola's Influence, Verdant Command, Overgrown, whatever. Scatter Grove, Verdant Command, Witherbloom, Dackmore. Hey, yeah, that's convenient. Dackmore, hey.
Yep. There's some Dackmores.
Oh, it all goes back in.
There's the Guy's Blessing, so it's all going to go back in.
Wow, we're really digging here. There's the Gitrog.
Alright, so there's the Gitrog. So we are going to shuffle everything back in. And then because Oath puts Gitrog into play and then puts the other cards in the graveyard, after we shuffle with Guy's Blessing, we could do it before, but we want to do it after. We're going to draw a card.
We draw Guy's Blessing.
And then we're going to draw a card for our turn.
It's Force Plowshares.
That's actually kind of awkward. Let's Mazzolantli.
Mazzolantli. Draw and pitch. Draw Dackmore. Alright.
Yeah, we have Infinite Bears now.
Infinite Bears.
So we're going to discard Dackmore Salvage and draw a card, leaving Dackmore in our graveyard.
It's Dackmore.
Perfect. So now we're going to tap our 3 green mana and cast Iola's Influence.
Oath sacrifice, right? No.
What? No, it just sits there.
Oh, neat.
We're going to present a loop where we mill through our deck, making more and more bears.
Put the deck more in the bit.
And, yep.
Then instead of
And
drawing,
we're going...
Oh, there's a guy's busting himself back in.
Yep. We're going to shortcut this. So if you shortcut it so that the end state... you can't really shortcut it. Like, you can... in an informal setting, shortcut it and just be like, end up with my graveyard shuffled back in and a deck more in hand. If you're in an actual tournament, because of how they ruled on the Four Horsemen stuff, which is another legacy combo, you just have to play out each dredge unless the opponent scoops to it.
Yeah.
You can't announce that you're ending with a specific state because the order of your deck is non-deterministic and you don't know how to predict it until you see it. So you can't just say, I'm going to mill until I have these 5 cards in my graveyard and everything back out in the library, because that might not happen. Also, we would be stacking draw triggers when each of these lands goes to the graveyard, so we can slowly, as we go through our deck, fill our hand up more and more. There are things you can do with that with Dark Ritual, but this deck is not running any of them because we're on the Iola's influence as our win condition.
We'll keep getting more bears.
Yeah, so this is it. If the opponent has an answer to Infinite Bears, something to know, generally you do this on your opponent's turn because otherwise they can get an Oath trigger, but we don't actually have an opponent, so... And if the opponent had not had any creatures when we played Oath of Druids, they would just stop us for 1 turn because we had the Verdant command to give them some squirrels. So I would say this game, this is I believe, turn 5 combo kill, holding up Swords to Plowshares and having Kaya and Verdant Command. So, like, we're pretty safe to win on turn 4 or 5, unless we're playing specifically against one of the spell-based combo decks, like High Tide or Channel Mirror.
How many bears can I add until this thing breaks?
It probably can do like 32,000 or 16,000 or something.
Oh, it goes sideways. It doesn't go down, so there's just more berries on the side.
Yeah.
Alright.
We've got more bears than the Tenderloin.
Amazing. We'll go over a few more hands and then we'll call it for the night. We're doing pretty good on time. Alright.
Yeah, I think this deck kind of just does the one thing, so we can run through one more test hand and just call it. Unless we just scoop really early.
Yeah.
This is a mulligan. We don't have any... Like, we don't have a black mana for the Witherbloom command, and we have no other early plays. This is a turn 2 Oath with a Verdant command, so I would definitely rock this. And I'd probably put Mozzolantli back.
Do you want to play test it or just call it?
Let's play test it and see how it runs.
We put Mozzolantli back?
We're going to put Mozzolantli back.
Mono library.
So we're going to play our landscape.
Landscape.
And at the end of our opponent's turn, we're going to go grab a forest.
Go grab a forest. View all. Where's the forest? There it is. Forest. Tapped. So we're going to untap it, so it's not a big deal.
Yep, so we're going to our next turn. We're going to play the other landscape. Or no, we can play the swamp. Awesome. Actually, let's play the landscape because we want to have landscape in play when we get Gitrog next turn. Or the turn after.
Oath of Druids.
So we're going to play Oath. Can this flip a coin, this program?
Player, gain 1 life, gain 1 poison, flip a coin. Yeah.
Alright, so heads.
It's tails.
Nope. Okay, so we're going to say the opponent does not have a creature. So we're going to go to the next turn. We're going to play Field of Ruin. And we're going to pass to the opponent's turn. And if they don't play a creature, we're going to play Verdant Command.
Let's flip a coin to see if they play a creature. It's a heads. They play a creature.
All right, so they've got a creature, in which case we are going to not do anything. We're just going to go to our turn and oath.
Next turn, this card doesn't get drawn. It gets put right here. And let's see how deep we go. 1. Let's go and move them here.
So there's the one land we're looking for to get our free cantrip.
There's Get Rug.
Or to get robbed. Okay, so notably, no Guy's Blessing here. These all go to the graveyard, which is really good because we have a Dackmore salvage. Then we draw for turn.
We draw Dackmore. And then we draw for Get Rug.
Yep. All right, so we're going to play... how do we want to do this? Before we do anything, we're going to sack the landscape and go get a plains. So we sack it, and then in response, we get a Get Rug trigger to draw a card.
Uh-huh.
So do that first.
We draw a card. Roll the druids.
And then we go get a plains.
You all look for plains. It's right on the top.
Alright. And then that's tapped. So we're going to play a swamp.
Play swamp.
And play a Dackmore salvage because Get Rug lets us play a second land each turn. And we are going to Field of Ruin our opponent.
Pay 2, sacrifice it. Destroy target non-basic land opponent controls. Each player searches the library for a basic land or put level tapped.
So
or
first
no, not
draw a
tapped.
card.
They just put on the battlefield.
Yep, draw a card.
Draw a card.
And then we're going to go find another plains, which lets us hold up Swords to Plowshares.
Also, Dackmore only dredges 2. I thought it dredged 4.
No, that would be real good. 2 is what we're fine with.
Okay.
So, now, if the opponent has no creatures, they get an oath, but they should still have 1 until they attack into or Get Rug with it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to pass the turn with Swords up.
Swords up.
Before we draw, we have to sacrifice a land, which will be Dackmore Salvage.
Go by Dackmore salvage.
Which will draw.
Draw.
And then we untap and draw. This is not working out great for us. Tap Forest and Plains, play Invasion of Ixalan.
Invasion of Ixalan. Look at the top 5. You top 5. Overgrown State. I use influence. Burning Command. Vectoring Bubble Soaring. Can I use influence?
We only have 1 green mana, but I think yes. And then I think we are going to play both of our lands.
Play Scattered Groves. Play Dackmore Salvage.
And then I don't, we have the combo in hand, we just need to hit a green source. So I think we're not going to be attacking with this Get Rug. We just want to stay shields up as much as possible.
Yeah.
And we're probably casting the Swords to Plowshares.
Okay. Go to the opponent's turn.
If we don't
Swords.
win somehow on our next turn, I think we probably are not getting there.
Alright, next turn. Get Rug trigger. What do we sacrifice?
We're going to sacrifice Dackmore Salvage.
Dackmore Salvage.
Which draws us a card.
Draw us a card.
And then we're going to go to our draw step. We're going to dredge Dackmore Salvage.
Alright, so this will go in the bin, this will go in the bin. Oh, they're all going to shuffle back in.
Well, hold on. We're going to dredge Dackmore Salvage. That goes back to our hand.
Yeah. Dackmore Salvage goes in the hand.
We also dredged a land into the graveyard, so we're going to draw a card.
Guy's Blessing.
Okay. Now we're going to shuffle our graveyard back in. Tap both of the plains. And cycle our land.
Cycle land.
Draw a card, draw a card.
Not so longly.
Yeah, play Matsuantli.
Matsuantli.
Activate it, draw a card.
Draw Raven's Crime. What do we pitch?
Discard Dakmar Salvage. Use the draw trigger to dredge Dakmar Salvage.
1, 2. View all. Nope. Shit. Whatever. I moved him to the library.
Okay, we're done with this game then.
We just assume we either won or lost.
I think if we're playing against a fair deck, I think we win here. If we're playing against a combo deck, we've definitely lost. If we're playing against a control deck, we can start grinding them with Raven's Crime, but they've probably gonna set up a board state where we can't beat them.
Yeah, but that's
yeah. The deck, the Overgrown Estates, like I said, not sure if they're good. The Field of Ruins, not sure if they're good. Deck probably wants some more untapped green sources for those Iola's influence, or some other way to get green mana. We can't run Spirit Guide because it's an Oath deck, so that's off the table.
A Frog Spawn Pond is a good name, but it doesn't necessarily say what it does. We need a better name for this.
A Druid doesn't matter. The names don't matter. People can look at the deck list and see what it does. We're doing a whole video about what the deck does.
But I need
it spawns.
I need it for the YouTube name.
All right. Well, then call it Man Bear Frog.
Man Bear Frog. Okay.
Frog Oath.
I like Frog Oath better. Oath of Frog.
Yeah, woodland creatures.
Oath of Frog.
Frog be upon ye. Yeah, this deck is one of the decks where it's a lot of fun to play. This deck has gone to time at least once in every tournament where it's been played. And it's not because the players were playing slowly or because the players were bad. This deck just has so many tiny little actions that you have to play through. And a lot of them you don't know exactly what's going to happen until it happens, which means you have to stop and think, okay, I dredged these 2 cards, now what do? I'm not comboing yet. So it does, if you're going to play it, get some practice reps in before you take it to a tournament, even like an F&M level 1, because it will reward you for kind of knowing what's about to happen in most cases.
Like all Get Rug decks, this is just what it does.
Yeah, it gets good, Frog. I love the Frog.
I love the Frog.
Non-binary frog friend.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, those are the 2 decks. Thank you very much for joining us. If like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, we really appreciate it. On the left hand of the screen, like we said earlier in the video, there will be a video at the top of the left hand that is a video just for you. It's been recommended. YouTube has a pretty good idea what you want, and that's one of ours. It's special for you. You might like it.
Next week, we actually have a very special guest in the studio with us. It is the card alter and artist Beyond the Machina.
Holy shit, he's coming? I didn't know we could get him on.
He's coming, yeah. We can get him on, you can get him off. I mean, whatever we want to do here. This is not a PG-13 stream. I'm sorry, kiddos.
Anyway, on the bottom left hand of the screen is all the other Magic Talk with Toad videos. You should watch them. They're good for you. You might like them. I'm Beyond the Machina, I think. That has been Toad.
Yep, and I'm going to say you should like the video, and you should comment, and you should tell us why only playing 3 Oath of Druids and an Oath deck is stupid, and our deck will never work, and then we'll respond and give you a big thumbs up.
If you have a card you think will be neat in Value Vintage, tell us about it. We'll see if we can make it work if it's cheap enough. If it's not cheap enough, I'm sorry. Weapons Manufacturing still $3. Damn it, Weapons Manufacturing, get cheaper.
Wait. Remember from our Final Fantasy video when I said I was interested in Summon Yojimbo and then he went up to like $15? He's back down to 2. We might have a Yojimbo brew coming. I'm working on it.
All right. Thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate it, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.